LeBron James was created by the NBA. And how do everything I'm saying is my opinion, but I just had this revelation recently. He was created by the NBA. Why was LeBron created by the NBA? LeBron was created by the NBA because the NBA has never made more money than the time when Jordan was going. They figured out, and that's something that they did not create. They didn't have anything to do with it. But later on, as they seen how great Jordan was, they kind of, later on in Jordan's career, that's when they kind of changed some rules and some things of that nature. By then it was a little bit too late. Jordan was already, on a tail end with the Bulls and then with the Wizards and all this type of stuff. They never made more money. They tried the rivals thing with Bird and Magic. And they came to the conclusion that just because mainly of Jordan, they can make way more money by promoting one superstar as opposed to a rival. Because my thing has always been, at any given time, the NBA, like legitimate superstars, they probably got about 10 to 12 legitimate superstars spread throughout the league. And so you would think that would generate more revenue than just promoting one guy. But one of the things is because of Michael Jordan. They was like, oh my goodness, we didn't create this. This just kind of happened. And why don't we actually create it? It's because it's a long-term experiment. 20-something year experiment, and it has worked exactly the way they want it to work. And you have to ask yourself, if you had a business that you control and you can almost guarantee profit, would you do what was necessary to make moves necessary to guarantee that profit? Of course you would. Because you got to look at when LeBron came into the league, straight out of high school. As a matter of fact, before that, because we know the NBA has a contract with ESPN, his high school games were on ESPN. And as far as in the public eye, that's kind of where it started, but it was well in motion before then, because you also have to think about storylines. Because the NBA wanted Kobe to be the next Jordan instead of being the first Kobe. But once the thing happened in Colorado with Kobe, even though the woman turned out to be lying and said it was totally consensual and this and that, but that's the problem. Once you're accused of acts like that, those things stick with you forever. From what the public knows, LeBron has never been in trouble. He's been married to his high school sweetheart. He's a great dad. His kids, that, the other. But for those of us who know different, LeBron is not squeaky clean, because you don't get to the levels that this guy got to by being squeaky clean. There's a lot of things that get covered up, and one of the glaring things that actually made it to the public, which is crazy, was it Cappy Poindexter thing. She was talking about human trafficking that he was involved in. And to me, whether it's true or not, That's a pretty serious thing, and that should be explored. Even if they're gonna poo-poo everything she said, oh, it's not true, it's this, that, and the other. They didn't even explore it. They just dismissed her as being crazy. And why would they do a certain thing? Well, they created. LeBron is a product of the NBA. And if you have the ability to almost guarantee your product profit, and you can do that, you will do it. And I'm not saying that's mean. I'm not saying that's evil. I'm saying you live in America. This is a business at the end of the day. We think it's all hypothetical, happenstance, this, that, and the other. No. This is a business. All right. And so, what 18-year-old coming out of high school calling himself the king? You think these veterans and all of that type of stuff is going to tolerate that? This little snot nose, wet behind the ears, going to call himself the king, and I've been doing this for 15 years? No. We're going to show him something. And that's what they was doing early on. But the NBA stopped that real quick. They changed rules for LeBron. They changed rules to protect their investment. Because any one of the great players, you can tell me what was one of their go-to moves. You can tell me any of them. You can tell me. Magic Johnson, known for just being a great point guard, one of his greatest abilities was to assist, was to pass the ball. Larry Bird, 6'9" player forward. He just pretty much did everything great. You look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greats. He had a sky hook. You tell me what LeBron's signature or go-to move is. That's not a dunk. I'll tell you what his go-to move is because the rules were changed. He could just lower his shoulder and just run over people. And being 6'9", 250, 10 times out of 10, he's going to win that battle. That's a freaking offensive foul. But rules were changed so the NBA could protect their product / their creation. And what they ended up doing was creating a monster. Because they didn't know that LeBron was going to start empowering players, free agency, freedom of movement, making all this money. They gave LeBron the media. He has ESPN in his pocket. They allowed him to go to teams that were, a half a player away from winning a championship, which was Miami. But a greater part of that storyline is, just so happens to get drafted by your hometown team. And if they would have been able to have him win a championship when he was drafted by Cleveland, that would have happened. All plans aren't, it don't work out the profession. But what was even better as far as their plan go, he didn't win a championship in Cleveland in the first go round, left Cleveland, won a championship with Miami, and came back to Cleveland and won the championship. That story is better than winning a championship in the first place at all. It's just so amazing how these things line up. Now, 6'9", 250, this dude is a freaking human specimen. The way he can move and this, that, and the other, but as far as from a basketball standpoint, besides dunking, this dude, he has no moves. Rules are changed for him. He played with a Hall of Famer, Dwayne Wade. And I can't remember if Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer, but he's probably not, but he was a damn good player. Chris Bosh was. And then he took a back seat when LeBron came. And then after that, you're gonna pair him with his second go round with Cleveland. He was with oh my gosh, Kevin Love. Kevin Love was a perennial double guy before he got with LeBron. And then he had to take a back seat to that. Kevin Love was one of the best players in the league. Big man that shoot the three like nobody's business. Can't remember who else was pretty much on that team. And so that's what they allow him to do. So he goes to the Lakers, one of the biggest media markets in the country. And what do? They give him probably the best at the time when he was traded, Anthony Davis. Freaking machine. Anthony Davis, you can count on 25 and 15 at least every single night. And so when I say these things, it kind of sounds so obvious that LeBron was created, in my opinion. I just do. I just think he was created because even today in the NBA, you have probably about, at least like at any given time, like I said, you probably have about 10 to 12 legitimate superstars that you can promote right now. You can promote Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Thomas, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, not to mention Steph Curry, even still KD. You can promote Jalen Brunson. You still have legitimately 10 to 12 superstars that you could promote right now. But who games are going to be on TV? Even if they have a losing record, they got put out in the first round. The Lakers got put out in the first round in 2024 by the defending NBA champs, the Denver Nuggets. I mean, one of the other superstars I didn't even name, but he's been hurt a little bit lately, is Giannis Antetokounmpo, another one that you can promote right now. But they still stick to this thing. They want to protect their investment. One, LeBron James, right? And so, nothing against him. I mean, it's been a great deal for him. He's scheduled to make $51 million this upcoming season. Imagine that. $51 million. He's going to be 40 years old. He's a typical 40-year-old in NBA, but in real life years, his body is probably about 70 years old because of all these games that he's played. Won 4 championships. I don't know if that includes the bubble, because in my opinion, the bubble really doesn't count because most of the players didn't want to be in the bubble, so they just didn't give effort. They wanted to go back home. So you can put an asterisk by the bubble championship. But just let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Definitely LeBron was a NBA creation. Probably from the time that he was in maybe junior high school, the first time he showed any inkling of any talent. And then the storylines, single mother household, poor from Ohio, Akron, Ohio, just happened to get drafted by the hometown professional team, blah, 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 and all the stuff that I laid out previously. So just let me know what you think. LeBron James was an NBA creation.